wonderful summer morning we've got here at the top of Wright's practice field. We've got the Wright's Bowl and building there in the background, one of great tradition, lots of great traditions that we have here at Wright's High School. One of those great traditions is the chemistry classroom, and that's what I'm here to talk to you about this morning. I'm Mr. Hartman. I teach chemistry and physics and a little engineering when I get the chance, and I want to talk to you about some changes that we're making in the chemistry classroom. First of all, this is kind of different. You probably haven't had many of your classrooms done through videos here at Wright's, and that's one of the things that we're going to be doing differently. We're going to be using the video to have our lectures so that you can watch those at home as your homework, and then the homework portion that we would normally do at home will be in the classroom. Not only that, but we can do more labs. I can be there to help with homework and various other things that you might come across that causes problems, and be there to help. So a couple of things to note though about these video lectures or podcasts is you need to be focused when you're watching these. You need to be away from other distractions. You need to have your cell phone turned off and focused and taking good notes on what's happening in the video so that you can remember it later. But see, that's the nice thing about video. You can pause it, you can rewind it, you can watch it again and again, you can review before tests and quizzes with all the different lectures that might be on that particular topic, and it really changes things around about how you can study for a particular class. If you don't watch these video lectures, you won't succeed in the class. This is where the material is. This is where you're going to be doing a lot of your initial learning. So please take time to watch these videos. More in just a minute. So let's continue. Podcast 1.0, getting a little introduction here to how we're going to be doing things throughout the year. As you can see, I've got my little pen tool here, and I can write you little messages like this. I can make things appear and disappear and bring in little cool guys like this. Just a couple of other items that I kind of stumbled across. These are some really good quotes from Albert Einstein that I thought really spoke to the introductory type stuff I want to say about this class. One, I got here on the screen, weakness of attitude becomes weakness of character. Your attitude in this class is going to become extremely important. How you approach the class can become how you end up doing in the class. So attitude there becomes character. Another one that I found that was kind of spoke true and rang true about honors chemistry. Anyone who has never made a mistake has never tried anything new. I thought that was kind of important because a lot of times what I see in chemistry, and I've been doing this for quite a while, is people haven't really been pushed to their limits. And I think chemistry is one of those classes that can really push you to your limits. And so you're going to come across some things that you maybe have never done before and maybe don't understand the first time you do them. And that's okay. That's okay. Make mistakes. Try things. Right? Try new things. And so as you approach this, just keep that kind of in the back of your mind that you're going to be stretched a little bit, and that's a good thing. We will be able to talk about the chemistry, obviously. So if we have something like this, where we've got this particular H is what? Hydrogen, right? And is this also hydrogen? Yes, it is. When we put these two together, we get a new element. We get helium. But notice that the top doesn't add up. If you think of this little arrow sign here as an equal sign, it doesn't add up, right? So we're missing something. We are missing a neutron. And anybody recognize this, where you take two atoms and smash them together and you get a different atom? Yeah, that's right, it's called fusion. And fusion is what powers the sun. But there's another place where we've used fusion before. Anybody remember or know? Right? Nukes. And so this next little bit here, I thought I'd just throw in a little clip of a nuclear explosion, just for the fun of it, just kind of test out the software and to show you some of the things that are possible. Yeah, this is a really cool nuclear explosion that they've got going on here. Just look at that mushroom cloud. That's just incredible. Now watch the shockwave come at you. Sorry for the size of the thing, but I'll try to improve that in the future. But that's just awesome, I thought. Alright, well that was really cool. I really liked that one. I liked seeing that shockwave that I talked about there. Alright, well, success with vodcasts. Vodcast, you might say. Podcast, sound familiar? Well, yeah, basically the same thing. It's just the only difference here is in a vodcast, we're dealing with video podcast. So call it what you will, doesn't really matter. It's all kind of basically the same thing. But just like in the classroom, you really need to focus on these. When we're doing the actual lectures, not much really heavy core going on here in this one, but you really need to set some quiet time. You don't want to multitask. You want to put that cell phone down. You want to be able to focus on what you're doing and make sure that you take good notes. That's also going to be important here when you're doing this. Another nice thing about these video lectures is that you can use the pause button and also the rewind. How many times have you been in a lecture and you've been, starting to snooze or starting to doze and you miss something and you ask your next door neighbor what was just said and they reply back and then you get in trouble, all because you were trying to find out what was going on? Well, because of this nice little pause button and the rewind that you'll have available to you, you can just pause it, finish writing what you're doing, what you're writing down, or if you miss something, you can use the rewind and go back, and it just adds a nice little bonus there that you don't normally have in class. How many times have you wanted to pause your teacher? Anyway, so make sure you're focusing. Don't multitask. Get rid of that cell phone. Right? If you're doing this on a computer, turn off or do your absolute best to ignore those chats. I know that they are so tempting, but just ignore them. Right? You want to focus as much as you possibly can and take good notes. And the other nice thing about these video lectures is that if you have some spare time in enrichment or on your way somewhere or on the bus or whatever, you can pop one of these in to review. I wouldn't suggest that as the first time maybe going through, but as a review or something like that you want to catch up on something or whatever, this would be a great thing to do in those situations, right? Well, now we're going to be doing other things. We've got, as I mentioned earlier, a lot of extra time to do things like lab. Just be careful not to get too adventurous with your lab and into other experiments that might lead into bad situations. But the other nice thing about this opening up of class time is that there will be time there for me to be available to you as you go through the homework, because that's what the class time is going to become. It's going to become your homework time, the class time. And so I'll be able to be there to work one-on-one, or if we need to pull together 2 or 3 students, or maybe the whole class is struggling with something, and we can pull back and take a new look at it all together in class. And so as we go forward, we can do those kinds of things in this type of setting. You'll be doing things like projects and other stuff like that in groups, working on your computer to put things together, or in lab demonstrations. You'll be able to have that time available that I can pull some demonstrations together for you to demonstrate what the material is talking about and what things actually look like. And so the classroom then will be quite a bit different than I think what you're used to, because you'll be having lots of different things going on at the same time, people doing different stuff. And that's good, because if you get to a point where you're just bored with what's going on, you can move on to the next part. You don't have to wait for everybody like you would do in a normal, regular classroom. And so but that can create a little pandemonium, little craziness, little chaos going on, people doing different things. But I think that's going to be good. So this is a new experiment, right? Just learning as we go. And so I have lots of different resources that I have researched about this, and so I have some good ideas and some good tips about what works and what doesn't work. And so I really believe that this is good for your education, changing things around a little bit.